Welcome to Count With Me. This is Robin, and this is the meditation for the third in our series. Let's see what our letter is in our gift bag. Our letter today is a Vav. A Vav represents a man. Vav means peg, it means stake. It can be a tent stake, a tent peg. It can also be a man. It's a connector. This letter is a connecting letter in the Torah. It's used all throughout the Torah, and you will see this letter repeatedly. It's used as a vowel most of the time. Sometimes it is not used as a vowel. It has the pronunciation of v, like vav, but it also can have a little dot on the top, which makes the pronunciation o, and the dot in here makes it u. So those two vowels are used with this letter. This letter is representative of a man, and it has a numerical value of 6. So as you think about day number 3, we'll count after the sun goes down, and as you think about the man, I want you to consider what kind of a person you are. Are you a person who stands in between heaven and earth and brings down godly things from the heavenlies into this realm? Matthew, the 22nd chapter, is our verse for today, 34 through 40. Those are our verses. Hearing that Yeshua had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question: "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Yeshua replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these 2 commandments." So the word hang was what came to my mind, and the latter part of that came to my mind. All the law and the prophets hang on these 2 commandments. So when I looked this up, and I found that the reference was Deuteronomy 6:5, you will see that that is exactly what we are studying. So we didn't have to really wait very long to find out what building we are building. So here is the answer to the puzzle already on the 3rd day. We are building the Shema. The Shema has 49 letters and 12 words. So today, I explained earlier, but let me re-explain here in case you're jumping into this particular video. We are starting with the last letter of the Shema, which was the Dalet, the door. The second letter, and again from the end of the Shema, the Ayin, the eye. Today is the eye. We're thinking about our eyes. We're thinking about the eye. And we're thinking about letting our eye gates be gates, what's going in, what's going into our spirit through our eyes. Now, on the next meditation, I want us to consider being the Vav. I want us to consider being a conduit. A Vav, as you can see, is like a pipe, something that goes right straight up and down. I want to show you on my computer now the letters in their order of what we've studied so far. So we have, reading from right to left, we have today's letter, the Vav, and we have the Ayin and the Dalet. So we have Va'ed. That's the last word in the Shema. Interestingly enough, in the first line of the Shema, we have these 2 letters. The first word is Shema. It ends in the Ayin, and Echad is the last word in the first line of the Shema, and that word ends in a Dalet. So here is a repetition at the very end of the Shema of these 2 letters, which are emphasized in the very first line. They're emphasized because the Ayin is enlarged and the Dalet is enlarged. So it's like we're being pointed to these 2 really important letters, the Ayin and the Dalet, which means a witness. The Ayin and the Dalet in the first line, first word, last letter, and last letter of the last word of the first line. I think that's confusing to some of you, but don't worry, it's not a big deal. As you learn it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But His kingdom, His glorious kingdom, is forever. Va'ed is forever. Oh, and one more slide here, and that is to show you what this vav does. It can go over on its side, and then a yod can go on the top of it, right over here, and a yod on the bottom, and then the vav becomes the connector, the man who connects, and the woman, of course, the person who connects heaven and earth. And what did our Messiah do? Our Messiah came from the heavenlies as a man, took on bodily form, and came and dwelled in the earth to do what? To connect heaven and earth and become the Aleph, because Aleph represents God. So there you have your meditation. Your assignment for the next day is to think about being an intercessor. Think about being the person who stands and pulls heaven down and earth up and creates holiness wherever you are. Shabbat Shalom. Happy counting.